Time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey, good Monday morning to you. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm happy to be back. I can tell you about what I was doing last week a little bit later. But as we do, we'll begin with news.
Yeah, all eyes are on the Caribbean. Hurricane Beryl strengthened into a Category 4 hurricane. It is approaching the Southeast Caribbean, and people who live nearby spent some time packing up this weekend and heading out. Hurricane warnings are in effect for Barbados, St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Beryl's center is expected to pass about 70 miles south of Barbados this morning and then head into the Caribbean Sea as a major hurricane on a path toward Jamaica. And then it's expected to weaken a little bit by midweek and then go back to hurricane status as it heads toward Mexico. We'll see, because that can change, depending on a lot of things, but that's for now.
It's an early start. It's an early start to hurricane season. I know it officially starts in June, but it's rare that we have a hurricane that's doing damage this time of year. The warmer weather in the Gulf is one of the reasons why more hurricanes are expected and more powerful hurricanes. So I know at Convoy, we're watching that closely to see what kind of help we can be following the storm.
And it is technically July now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
July 1st.
July.
So,
right.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, dangerous situation for a McDonald County deputy over the weekend. That deputy and another person are both okay after being inside a building when it exploded on Saturday. Deputies responded to a house near Anderson on Highway 76 to help a person who was at the time suicidal. They were talking to him about getting outside when all of a sudden the building had a large explosion that led to a fire. A deputy and member of the Anderson Fire Department were able to get out themselves. They were also able to get that person out. The building started to burn. The person they were called in to help was taken by helicopter to a hospital. No word on their condition at this point. Also no word on what caused the explosion. But, man, that's a scary deal.
Mm-hmm.
Holiday weekend, or the holiday week, not the weekend yet. We just came off the weekend. Holiday week is upon us. Already thinking about the weekend, though. Independence Day is this Thursday. You want to check the weather with Abby Dyer coming up in just a little bit, because that's the biggest day for a chance of storms, I think. We'll see how that shakes out as we get closer. But AAA is expecting a lot of travelers across the country. In fact, we could see a record set for 4th of July holiday travel. The TSA is expecting to screen about 32 million people in the U.S. from now through July 8th. That's a 5% increase over last year. Most people, though, still travel by car. Nearly 80 million Americans expected to travel more than 50 miles away from their home, with 85% of them doing it on the roads.
Yes. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I always enjoy the travel prediction from the AAA. I'm not sure why. Because it's like it feels almost like an arbitrary number. I mean, I know that they have a formula, but still, I just enjoy it.
And it's always up. And it's always one of those things that every year in news, we do that for certain holidays, talk about travel. Yes. And here we are.
So here we are. If you are planning to stay home and not travel for 4th of July, you might be shooting off some home fireworks. The price is about the same as it has been. Prices shot up during the pandemic, but now owners say wholesale prices have been trending back down. So owners this year say fireworks prices are pretty consumer friendly again, unlike during the pandemic. Don't forget, in the Springfield city limits, it is illegal to set off fireworks. So you better check your local city law to figure out if you can set them off where you live or not.
We'll be hearing them soon.
Yep. All right. So from prices on luxuries like fireworks to necessities, prices are still up with inflation, but apparently necessities did not go up in May, which is the first time that has happened since November. They've been consistently going up since November, but then in May, they kind of leveled off. The Consumer Price Index, which is a key inflation gauge, rose 3.3% in May from a year ago, but that is down slightly from April, which was at 3.5%. 4%. So it was headed in the right direction. Groceries and gas prices both dropped a little bit. Americans are still spending less money on eating out.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've done stories about the feds going after some of the big name stores for raising prices on groceries, keeping them high. Now, as you go to the grocery store, I don't know about you, but I've seen lower prices on just about everything, which is great. And then gas prices were down, but they appear to be back up. Looks like, doesn't it?
I don't know. I mean, it was interesting. I was on I-44 over the weekend, and they were really high in Springfield. Even at like Sam's and Costco, the prices were higher in Springfield at those discount retailers than they were on the highway. Once I got onto I-44, I was headed toward Joplin and then Oklahoma. It was cheaper. I should have gotten gas on the highway, but I didn't because I was like, oh, I bet it'll be cheaper when I get to like Costco or Sam's Club or something. And I was wrong about that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder why Springfield would be higher. I know that a lot of times the Joplin Sam's Club is a good place to get gas. It's right pretty close to the highway.
Yeah.
And it's usually pretty cheap. Cheaper than here. Hey, if you want an affordable place to live, you picked a pretty good place in Missouri because the state comes in at number 14 on the most cost-friendly places to live. MIT looked at wages for the state of Missouri. It says hourly wage needed for a single working adult to live comfortably in Missouri is $40.40. The salary needed for a single working adult annually is $80,000. The salary needed this was a little surprising. The salary needed across two working adults raising two children in Missouri is $2,002 or $202,000, I should say.
$202,000 is what he's meaning. Yes.
$202,000, which that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I
thought that sounded really high, actually.
Yeah, it seems like it seems high just for I don't know what their definition of live comfortably is.
The definition of comfortable living for them basically is when you're spending 50% of your money like on necessities like your house payment, mortgage, bills, 30% on more like luxuries or, like something that you enjoy, and then can still put 20% into savings. Wow. That is how they define comfortable. So that means you're still saving 20% for hopeful retirement,
Yeah. I wonder how many people are saving 20%. I don't know. But anyway, according to MIT, Missouri lands at the 14th best state to live in the country when it comes to how much you need to make to live comfortably.
Yeah. Yeah. So 30%, the way that they say it at MIT is on wants. So 50% on needs like food and housing, 30% on wants, which I said necessities, but they said wants. And then the rest of it goes toward either savings or debt. So there's your definition.
All right. Kansas City is in the soccer spotlight tonight. Some of the best soccer players in the world are there for the Copa America soccer tournament for North and South America and Central America. Happens every 4 years in different locations. This time, the best teams in North and South America are going against each other in Kansas City. Tonight, the U.S. men's national team is set to host Uruguay at Arrowhead Stadium. Tickets start at about $70. And I was up there with my boy for the Messi game whenever Messi was in town to play Kansas City Sporting. And it was a huge crowd in Arrowhead. It was a great place, actually, to see a game. We were in the upper deck, but on the fourth row, and we had great seats at about the 40-yard line if it was football. And I knew this game was coming, so I looked at it and I was like, man, I'd like to go back and see the U.S. team, but it's a Monday night, which makes it tough for people in Springfield to travel up there and to get back for work.
I know. I was wondering if work would be lighter for people this week because the 4th of July is on a Thursday.
I don't know. I mean, some people have to cram more in for 3 days because they got to, like news people and radio people, they have to do more in the 3 days to cover for the 2 days that they may not be there.
Right. or they will be there, but there will be little going on. So they have to figure out a plan.
You got to feed the
Which
beast.
is something that news people don't do, is make a plan.
That's
by
true.
and large. That's a true
Famous
statement.
for that. Yeah, we just deal with it as it comes.
Yes. Good life rule. Good life rule. Well, the tournament certainly giving Kansas City some global attention, which is good for them because we got the World Cup coming. So that's exciting. World Cup, you remember this, right? 2026.
26,
Don't
of course.
forget.
Yeah. They're still getting
Okay.
Arrowhead ready for it. Yeah.
All right. Now to this, you can tune in on July 4th, which is Thursday at 5 p.m. KSPR channel 33, and watch a Springfield native on Jeopardy. Josh Martin is a pilot. He's been applying for the show for about 10 years. He finally passed the test and he got on. And that's really exciting because it is a dream come true, really, to be on the show for him. And so I don't know Josh Martin personally, but I will be sure to tune in on the 4th of July to see what
4th
happens.
of July. Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Good for him.
Yep. And don't forget, we told you about our contest last week, and it is still going on through tomorrow, where you can go to aroundtheozarks.com and apply to win tickets to see the Ozarks Lunkers, which should be a great time. They have a game on Saturday, July 6th. So this weekend at the Wilson Logistics Arena out at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds, and you can win tickets. So go do that right now. Enter for your chance to win aroundtheozarks.com.
I'm sure that's a good time because it's a smaller arena. It's going to be loud in there, intense. You can see really up close the players and get a gauge for their speed and athleticism and how hard they hit each other.
Oh, man.
I think it'd be fun to watch. Arena football. It's fast paced.
Yeah. While you were gone, I had Diana in with me. She has been to a game, and that's what she said. She said, you're super close to the players. It is very fast paced and pretty amazing to watch.
To hear the hits as they echo through the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for Diana filling in for me last week. I had a father-son trip for the boy and I. We had a great time. We did he fished like every day. And we did all kinds of things, shot shotguns and did manly things, and it camped out. It was a great time. We had a good time.
Do you have any calluses on your hand or anything?
No, it's not quite that extreme.
Just checking. Because you see, I have calluses on my hands, and Ethan doesn't. And
riding a bike.
Probably from riding a bike. Yeah, probably from riding a bike. But it always is funny because Ethan's hands and feet are softer than mine. So I get a big kick out of that. So I just thought I would ask. That's all.
No calluses. I stopped short of that.
Just curious.
We don't want to get crazy in 1 week.
All right. Well, I'm so glad you're back. And thanks to Diana for filling in. We hope to see you back here tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and make sure you check in with Abby Dyer's Wake Up Weather. Find out what the forecast is be as the 4th of July draws near. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the new work week. Maybe a short week for many of you with the 4th of July holiday coming up on Thursday. We are waking up with pretty pleasant temperatures in the Ozarks. And as of 5 a.m., there's a little bit of rain activity on the radar up to our north. I think most of that activity for the first half of the day stays north of Highway 54 today. So don't be surprised if you're in the northern Ozarks and you get a little bit of a shower. Overall, though, today, it's going to be another day with high temperatures landing in the 80s for most of the Ozarks, which is nice compared to the rest of the week. So enjoy the cooler pattern that we have out there for you today, and most will stay dry today. However, I do think there's that chance for some rainfall, especially for the first half of the day up in our northern counties. Don't be caught off guard by that if you're listening north of the Springfield area. Temperatures this morning, well, they're nice and mild. We've got numbers that are starting out in the 70s and will warm to about 85 for the high temperature today. Overall, we are talking about unsettled weather for the work week forecast. I do have an opportunity for showers and thunderstorms and some really high heat and humidity. I'm talking mid 90s that could be back as early as tomorrow. So there's a lot to discuss in this holiday work week forecast. Today, though, starts off on kind of a nice note. It will be cooler today. We have some drier conditions in terms of lower relative humidity. That's what I mean by that. We have low dew point temperatures today in comparison to what we will have around the rest of the week. Heat and humidity really build by the time we get to later this week. We are talking about heat index values likely going way back into the triple digits. So it will be hot and humid. There is a look at the surface front that I'm watching, and I'm expecting another one to develop and move into the Ozarks as we head closer to midweek. I'll talk more about that in just a second. Overall, today will be dry in the Ozarks. Northwestern counties have the best chance for a little rain shower, and all the heavy rain today is up in the plain states, well to our north. Heat and humidity, though, really kick in starting on Tuesday, lasting through Friday of this week. I mentioned, I think high temps could be back into the 90s tomorrow, and we will likely see humidity values well into the triple digits. It could be heat advisory criteria starting tomorrow afternoon. So just know that heat index values 100 to 110 range, that could prompt some heat headlines for you again this week. And I know a lot of kids are, home for the summer, off school break. If they have any camps or anything, it may be a short week because of the holiday. Just know that if you're going to be spending time outdoors, you need to be thinking about things like heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and definitely dehydration. So lots of water this week. Thunderstorm chances also return in this forecast. I have a chance for storms both Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, this could impact the 4th of July forecast, and I think that we are likely going to see the best opportunity for rain maybe Wednesday night through Thursday morning as a front just kind of wavers up and down throughout the Ozarks and stays in the area for a couple of days. Today, we're talking about a high temperature of 85 degrees, partly cloudy skies, more cloud cover the further north you go, and northern counties have a chance for rain today. By Tuesday, we're talking temperatures right back into the mid 90s. I have 95 degrees for the high temperature tomorrow. We're still in the mid 90s by Wednesday and Thursday, but we've also got the storm chances moving into the region on Thursday. Again, I think it's Thursday afternoon and night that we have a good chance for rain and storms. Front will still be in the area on the 4th of July. At least currently, it looks like the best chance for rain on the 4th of July will be in the morning and the early afternoon. So we may get some dry time for fireworks time, but that's kind of to be determined this week. And then we've got another opportunity for showers and thunderstorms on Friday. Then the front actually passes through and we get a little bit of a cool down for the weekend. All right, here's a look at the headlines around the country. We are talking about dangerously hot weather, making headlines again for the Southern Plains and California's Central Valley. We've also got showers and thunderstorms for the Four Corners and the Southwest, again, for a couple of days, totally waterlogged out in the Southwest. And then wet weather is also returning to the Midwest. Now, I think a lot of folks in the Midwest are pretty happy about this because of dry conditions, but it's also coinciding with the 4th of July when people like to be outside. So kind of a, not great forecast for the 4th for much of the Midwest. All right, here's a look at the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister Trivia question. This is the question that I left you with on Friday. Sorry to bring this up Monday morning. It's not a nice topic to start with, but it's the trivia question, so we got to do it. Which popular condiment was once sold as a medical cure for diarrhea? Do you think it was A, ketchup, B, mustard, C, mayonnaise, or D, relish? Now, if you are sick with this ailment, condiments in general don't sound good. I would not want to eat any of these. But if you had heard of this before, you may know that the answer is A, ketchup. Ugh. Honestly, it sounds like a terrible idea if that's what you're suffering with, but it was ketchup. At some point, it was medicine. Indeed, it was in the 1930s. Tomato ketchup was sold as medicine. Diarrhea was not the only ailment that it was marketed to cure. It was also indigestion and jaundice. All right. This was initially posed by a doctor, Dr. John Cook Bennett. He was an American physician in 1834. He tried to market ketchup and then later turned the recipe into pill form and marketed as a tomato pill. It didn't go over that well. And apparently it was not too effective. People were like, hey, this is not curing the problem. And it's also just making me never want to eat ketchup again. So A was the answer. Congrats if that was your guess. You are now entered to win $20 to Scooter's Coffee. Here is the question that I will leave you with. This is for tomorrow morning. So if you want to play the contest, head on over to the website. It's aroundtheozarks.com. You can enter your guess for the Brain Twister trivia question there. It is free to do so, and you could win $20 to Scooters. So why not take a stab at it? Here it is. Who was the first president to visit all 50 states? Do you think it was A, Bill Clinton, B, Richard Nixon, C, Dwight D. Eisenhower, or D, John F. Kennedy? You can let me know your guess. Again, that's over at the website aroundtheozarks.com. Thanks so much for listening this morning to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. I'm meteorologist Abby Dyer. I sure appreciate you listening. And thank you so much to our sponsors, Scooters and Rescue Towing. It's going to be a great day in the Ozarks, so make sure you find some way to get outside. Hey, by the way, I wanted to tell you while you're at the website entering the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question, you can also enter our other contest to win tickets to the Ozarks Lunkers. Around the Ozarks has your chance to win tickets to the Ozarks Lunkers game, Saturday, July 6th in Wilson Logistics Arena. The Lunkers play Duluth at 7:05 p.m. at the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds. So if you want to win tickets, you can head on over to the website, click on contests. You can find that one running there as well. Have a great day. I will chat with you again tomorrow morning. Enjoy the 80s before the 90s. Are back with us tomorrow.